right, what's up, peeps? It's time to get smarter here in San Diego with Smarter San Diego. And can I call you Nikki?
Yes, please.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
you prefer that, right?
My friends call me Nikki.
Okay.
You're a friend.
All right, well, I'm a friend now.
Yes, you
Marre.
are. Yes.
That's how you pronounce your last name. And today we're going to talk about Feng Shui.
Yes, we are.
We should also talk about baby in belly. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Thank
Everyone's
you.
so pregnant. Beck's pregnant.
I
My wife's
know.
pregnant, 21 weeks yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
That's fascinating. That's wonderful.
Our mutual friend Melissa Sophia just had one not too long ago.
True.
She seemed like she was pregnant forever.
Well, she was, because she has 4 kids. So she was pregnant for a long time.
Almost 4 years.
Yeah.
It's 10 months. That's the thing that's weird about it, is like, they're like, oh yeah, you're pregnant for 9 months. No, it's 40 weeks that's 10 months.
Yeah, it's like a year.
Yeah, it's a very long time. So Feng Shui, I gotta be honest with you.
Yes.
I really don't know what that means or is. My
That's okay.
mom used to say it all the time when we would look at houses or something. We'd walk in and she'd be like, that's not Feng Shui. Nope. And she'd want to turn around and leave, like we were looking to buy a house.
I love your mom. That's
She's
so.
like, nope. And she would turn
She
around and just
sounds
leave. I'm
awesome.
like, wow, what is this? What's she talking about? And she's like, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. And so it seemed to me like it was some sort of science that required a lot of knowledge. I never took the time to acquire that knowledge until today.
Okay.
So now you get to tell me, what in the world was my mom talking about all
Yes.
these years?
Yes. Oh, well, I'd love to talk to your mom because there's a lot of different schools and sects of Feng Shui, so I'd love to know which one she was practicing.
Okay, so not all
Yeah.
Feng Shui is the same then?
No, not all Feng Shui is the same.
Interesting.
Makes it even more complicated.
Well, how would you describe, how would you elevate or pitch Feng Shui? Like, how would you say what it is? What would you describe it as?
Okay, so Feng Shui is basically acknowledging that your outer environment affects your inner environment, your health and well-being, which there are many studies that prove that out there. And for people that really have no clue what it is,
Like
I
me.
use an analogy.
Okay.
So do you know what acupuncture is?
Yes.
Okay, so there's the human body and there's different energy meridians, and you use needles to balance the energy in the body. So imagine the house or your home or business structure is a human body, and there's different energy meridians in the home or the building, and then you have to balance the energy. And there's certain areas which we call bagwas, where you would put elements in the bagwas to balance the energy. And there's 5 elements. There's fire, water, earth, wood, and metal.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's an energy balancing technique.
Yes, and then it also incorporates interior design because obviously it does.
Yeah, of course. You have to do something with the design in order to effectively Feng Shui, if I can use it as a verb,
Yes.
a home. Now, does this play in real estate? Like, do people look to buy homes? I know my mom did.
Yeah.
But I just thought she was a weirdo. But is it the case that people do this on a regular basis? They're like, I want to only buy a home that's Feng Shui, or that could be Feng Shuied.
Yes. So luckily I am in Southern California, so I meet a lot of people who are into energy and holistic healing, and they want to buy homes that have positive energy or are positively charged that will support their prosperity and abundance. And so I target those clients. A lot of them come from yoga studios or places like that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a common thing. So this is back in Missouri I'm talking about. That's where I'm from.
I wouldn't say it's common, but there is a market for it. It's a niche market.
Can any home be Feng Shuied?
Yes.
Or only certain ones can?
No. Just like any body could be healed somewhat, any home can be Feng Shuied, but there are some homes where it's much more difficult.
And what would be a home that's more difficult to Feng Shui?
Well, I'll bring up a condo is usually more difficult than a home. For me, I've noticed in real estate, because condos are not always shaped in an auspicious way. Like in Feng Shui, the best shape for a home is a rectangle or a square. And there's a lot of condos out there that are jagged or weird with sloping roofs and things like that, or with spiral staircases. And so condos, I say, are a little bit tricky. Also, you are sharing walls with other people, and oftentimes
can be affected by that.
Yes, and oftentimes you have a not so magnificent view. So that all comes into play.
Yeah, so interesting because energy plays a role in a lot of different things, and sharing space with neighbors and walls and stuff like that really does make a difference. We have a really crazy neighbor that's in a complex that's not ours, but it's close to us.
Okay.
And I hear him yelling all the time, and I've seen the cops called a couple different times, and I don't know what's going on over there. But I've always thought, like, man, it would really suck to live beneath this guy or to the side, because you don't notice it.
Yes.
But it's got to be spilling over whatever negative energy he's holding on to, whatever demons, whatever is going on over there.
Yes.
It's got to be spilling over.
Yes.
So that makes condos more difficult. I imagine that a lot of the ones downtown San Diego as well, they weren't built with that idea in mind that we were going to have like a square or rectangular spaces really anywhere.
Yep.
Everything's super weird shape. So that is more challenging.
It is more challenging to remedy. We call it remedying, curing. But it can be done. I mean, there's always something you can put in place or change. And the type of feng shui that I practice changes yearly. So the energy in your home will change yearly, actually.
Based on the calendar year that it is? Wow. And that's something cosmic there?
Something cosmic. It's like astrology.
Gotcha.
So your home actually has a natal chart. I mean, I don't want to go into astrology today, but
Why
like
not?
you are an astrological sign and have a chart, your home also does.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're able to figure out what that is? Like I'd say,
Yes.
okay, my home is here, you can go and figure that out. And
Yes.
then say, okay, what are some of the things you do to feng shui a place? Like, I don't get it. Like, do you put plants in there, or is it certain colors or stuff on the wall, or like, how does it work?
All of it.
All those things.
Yeah. So I layer my feng shui. I don't want to get too complicated on here, but there's something called form school feng shui, which you look at the lay of the land, who your neighbors are, what your street is like, what the pollution is like in your environment. And then you're going to go and look at the structure itself, and then you're going to do the natal chart and see which elements need to go where, and then you'll implement color and maybe metal in certain rooms, or water fountains, things like that. Yeah.
And is there any, what I would say, scientific method for determining the charge of a room or something like that? Or is it something that you can only feel and then sort of see it with their human eyes?
Well, it's both.
Yeah.
Intentional feng shui is about feeling the energy of the room or the home. But if you go into flying stars feng shui, which is what I practice, it's a very mathematical, scientific sort of process. So there's lots of numbers involved, and it's pretty complicated.
Now, is this a Chinese thing?
Yes.
It's an ancient China kind of deal?
Ancient China kind of deal, yes.
Well, and I bring that up because feng shui kind of sounds like it might be a Chinese name.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what it's called. Xinyun, have you seen that show? The Xinyun show?
No, what is that?
Oh my gosh, it's bonkers. They come like once a year to San Diego and they perform, and it's basically a Chinese history that gets played out on stage. Dancers, colors, the backdrop is absolutely nuts. It's almost like a magic show too, the way that they make some of these things happen. You're just like, how in the world did they just make me see what I just saw?
Yeah.
They take you through the history of China. And there's a lot of what they're doing and actually performing the act is energy oriented. So if you go to the show, it's the craziest thing you'll ever feel.
I want to go.
It's
you have to tell me when the next one is.
Look up Xinyun. I actually had someone on the television show right here. The first time they had ever done a television interview about the Xinyun show was right here.
Oh, wow. Look at
And it's
you.
been going on for years. Yeah, it's funny because they have, it's promoted regularly. They travel the world performing the show. But whatever it is, the dances they were doing or the music that was playing or something, there was something there that was going on. And they would stop in between different eras and sort of explain, and they would tell you what they just did, and then they would tell you what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And so you would kind of hear each one twice. You hear before they did it and then after. And they were explaining something about how in the history of China they've discovered things about energy and acupuncture and stuff like that. So this is probably part of that. I mean, I don't know how far back the feng shui idea goes, but I imagine there's a connection there.
Thousands of years.
Thousands?
Yes, and there's different theories about actually the origination of it. Some people think this is true, some don't, but some think that it goes even further back to India during like the times when the Vedic times when yoga was developed and all of that, and that it trickled into China, and then from there it developed into more of a Chinese practice that's different than the Indian version.
So let me ask you, in our little studio here,
Yeah.
How are we doing? Feng Shui me. What do we need to do? It is at
Well,
least, it's rectangular.
It is, which is great.
So this could be Feng Shui'd probably.
Yes.
Was
Well, it
not
always
designed,
can.
wasn't designed to be Feng Shui.
Well, the
But-
carpet, as we talked about, used to be orange,
Mm-hmm.
which with everything else was a little much. We have the orange, which is super vibrant, and the yellow is almost like a little nerve-wracking, I think. The black is a little more cooling. But in order to really feng shui this room, I would need to do a whole natal chart on it.
Okay. Is there anything that off the top of your head you go, you definitely need more of this or less of that?
I think you should put more plants in here.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
We talked
over
about
there.
that, Carrie.
Yeah.
We
It,
did.
it would
You
make
know
it a little more earthy
Mhm.
and not so corporate and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. A little more casual, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All
Make
right.
your guests feel very comfortable.
That's true. People like plants. Plants are good.
They do.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yes.
benefits to plants.
Absolutely.
So if let's say I'm a home seller or something like that,
Okay.
and or I'm staging a house or something. Does this come in? Is this a difference maker? Is this something I should be
Yes.
looking at?
Yes. Because even if you don't believe in feng shui or even know what it is, people will buy your house faster if you feng shui your house.
That's so crazy.
It's true. Because some of it's common sense. And it's like, make sure all the doorknobs are working properly, make sure there's nothing broken, make sure there's a good scent in the home and the kitchen looks presentable. In feng shui, if you're selling a home, you should actually stage it so that people can feel as if they could just move right in and live there.
Yeah, I think staging home always makes sense.
Always,
I mean,
yes.
pretty much. There's some people whose homes look staged, they live in it, and they're just
Yeah.
like crazy meticulous like that. But for the most part, it needs to be staged. You brought up something though, smells. So that's part of feng shui as well?
Yes.
See, that's
Yeah.
big because I'll tell you right now, it's a mind-boggling thing for me, but in the market where I am in Del Mar, everything smells old. And it's just so, it just smells moldy, oldy, like,
Oh, no.
yes. What is going on? And they want $2-3 million for these places.
Well, it's also being near the ocean sometimes can make that a little harder.
True.
Yes.
True. But I agree. I think the smell is like, if I were to tell you there's one thing that matters to me as a buyer walking into a house, it's definitely the smell.
Well, I really agree with you because especially being pregnant, I can smell anything from miles away. So a moldy home is not my friend.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good look.
No.
And my wife's pregnant too. And she is getting that heightened, all senses, I guess, get heightened.
Yes. Spidey senses.
Yeah, everything gets sort of ramped up
Yes.
a little bit. And so for her, it's like crazy. She's not even a smell person, but if we walk into a place, she's just like, well, I can't handle it.
Yeah, it's,
Like,
it's a real
dang.
thing. She's not imagining it.
Yeah, that's wild though,
Yes.
to be able to just like have that sense just get turned up so much.
I know. It
You know,
protects us.
It does, huh?
Yeah.
That's the idea, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow, so this is nuts. So it's something that is not just preference, but what you're saying is this is the right guideline to take if you want to essentially incorporate a proper energy structure in your home, whether it's a home that you're living in or a home that you're selling or a home that you're buying, something that you should be looking out for.
Yes.
Give me some of your best tips. Like,
Okay.
give me some feng shui takeaway tips here that people can go, you know what, let me feng shui a little.
Okay. Would you like it more from the buyer side? Like if I'm taking a buyer to go buy a home, what they might be looking for?
Whatever you think would be like the best, easiest takeaways
Okay.
from any angle.
Yes. Well, when I'm working with a buyer, because I work with a lot of buyers, the first thing that we look at is the land. So when you're selling a home, you need to know that like your landscaping needs to be on par. And that is the first step in knowing if the property has good qi, and qi means energy. So if there's lots of wildlife and foliage and healthy plants, then you know that the qi is already positive before you even walk in the door. If there's not, then you are a little bit more concerned already, right?
Okay.
So you immediately have that feeling. And then going up to the front door, it's better feng shui to have a meandering path rather than just like a straight path to the door. Also, lots of plants. You never want a big, huge plant right in front of the door, because in feng shui you want qi to enter the home really easily, but you want it to be a pleasant experience as it goes to the front door, and you don't want a giant pole or a giant tree right in front of your door.
From the inside or the outside? Either one?
Well, and when you open the door to look to the outside, if there's like a giant tree in front of your door, that's
Gotcha.
positive.
Okay.
It will confuse the qi.
Can the chi be confused?
It can.
What happens with
Clearly.
confused chi?
You have to unconfuse it.
Or what?
Or the energy of the home will not be auspicious or positive.
Ah,
You won't have as much positive energy in the home.
that's interesting.
Yes.
You know, I wonder how much this plays into the feeling, because everyone, a lot of times, I don't say everyone, a lot of times when people look at homes, it's like a feeling thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So like
yeah.
walk in and like immediately, it
Yeah.
feels like home or it doesn't.
Yes.
You think some of that's chi?
Oh, yes, definitely. And I've worked with clients that are totally not into energy or feng shui at all, and they still say some of the same things, like, oh, this home feels really creepy. Well, what is that about? Is there anything creepy that you see in the home or smell in the home? No, it's just a feeling. So where is that coming from?
Wow. That's
It's the
great.
chi.
It's the chi.
Yes,
Believe me, it's the chi.
It is.
That's your new advertising campaign.
I need t-shirts.
Believe me, it's the chi. Yeah, but I'm sort of processing in my mind because I haven't looked at from this standpoint.
Yeah.
But I do notice that me personally, I'm one of those buyers. I can tell you a lot of times, even before I walk through the front door.
Yes. Yeah. I know, that's what I'm talking
Which
about.
just makes
When
no
you look at the
sense.
front and you see what's going on with the land, how it's responding to the chi of the home, and just the sort of the overall picture of the home. Yeah.
Do you think if someone bought a home and started having second thoughts or something like that, do you think it could be related to that?
It could. Yes. Having a feng shui expert come in and feng shui the house could absolutely help. I would say that it would.
That would help
Yes.
change that potentially.
Yes. Yes.
Because sometimes people get excited, and we're seeing the market shift a tad here, I'd
Yes.
say.
Yeah.
And that's definitely, a reality right now. But prior to that, we'd seen people have to get into a lot of bidding wars and do a lot of crazy things to get homes. And I just wonder how many people sort of just ran head first, jumped head first into this house, and then maybe we're like, gosh, I don't know, there's something I'm not feeling right about here. Maybe feng shui is a solution for them.
I think so. It's a very good start. It's better than just backing out of it or selling your home right away.
What are some things that are not feng shui? Things that you should avoid doing?
Well, when I'm taking buyers to look at houses, there are certain aspects of the home that I really try to avoid for them. One thing is spiral staircases are a feng shui no-no.
Oh, really?
Yes, but there are remedies for all of these things. So people that live in homes that maybe are watching and they're freaking out, they shouldn't. So there's things you can do. Also, opening a front door and like seeing a staircase right in front of you is not good feng shui.
Really?
Which is really common in condos.
It's super common in lots of homes.
Yeah.
Where like you open it and you have like,
The staircase is just right there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not
It's funny, I don't like that though.
auspicious.
It's something that, it's something
Well,
that I
see?
don't like.
That's
I
your
like
intuition.
I like to open and open the door and then have an open space,
Yes. Yeah.
ideally.
Yeah, that's what you want to have, the feeling of opening the door and having sort of a grand entrance or a foyer or something, not just an immediately.
Yes, either that or at least vaulted ceilings or some sort of, I want to see the biggest part of the house when I walk in.
Yes. Well, that's feng shui.
And I love are vaulted ceilings feng shui?
You already know feng shui. Look at you.
That's like my favorite thing.
Yes. Another one that just popped in my head that's really important that people do all the time is paint their bathrooms blue.
And that's a no-no.
That's a no-no. Because they're actually related to our prosperity and abundance. It's a lot of water energy, obviously, and it drains. And so you don't want to paint the bathroom blue because it adds to that drainingness, and it can actually drain your finances.
Really, the blue bathroom?
The blue bathroom is absolute no-no.
Check the bathrooms, folks. We're talking Feng Shui here with Nikki Marre. And if your bathroom's blue, then you're going to be blue soon too, because you'll run out of money.
That sounds so horrible.
What's up, Debbie? How you doing? We are live here on Facebook. Melissa Sophia, what's up?
Hi.
And Nina's there as well. Chime in, say what's up. Hey, if you have a question about Feng Shui, we got Nikki Marre right here. She'll tell you all about it. What's the deal?
Is that an accent?
A little bit.
Okay.
Is the flag Feng Shui? Please say yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're being patriotic.
Yeah, that's good, right? That's a positive thing.
Yes.
It's good energy.
It is.
Should be.
And the eagle's a wonderful animal.
That's for sure.
So that's good.
So how do animals play into this? Because a lot of people have pets.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, like Sandy, it's kind of nutty to me, at least where I come from in Missouri, people have pets. It definitely happens, no question about it. But most pets are outdoor pets.
Okay.
You know, most dogs are outdoor dogs. And I came here and it was kind of funny because it seemed like everyone had an indoor dog, like even huge apartment complexes and stuff like that, or high rises in downtown, like everyone has a dog inside. So I have to imagine that plays in because we talked about smells earlier and that matters. And we know pets can have smells that are not necessarily positive and also have their own energy, which I think most people say is typically a good energy, especially like a dog has a really good energy.
So do cats.
They do. Really?
Don't diss on cats.
Those little assholes.
I see you.
Those
I know
little
what you're
sons
doing.
of bitches.
They do. They have beautiful energy.
Cats have beautiful energy.
Yes.
Okay. No, I know they chill a lot. That is what you're talking about, right? They're very.
Most of them.
Yeah, they relax. They take a lot of naps.
Yes. They inspire us to relax.
They do, but they don't follow orders. That's the trouble with cats.
But why do you need your animal to follow your orders?
Sometimes you need them to do stuff.
Okay.
Or to stop doing stuff.
Okay.
Dogs are much more apt to listen to that.
They are.
The thing I like about dogs, though, and the reason why I think it's great for everyone to have a dog, no matter what happens. Carrie, do you have a dog?
Yes.
Okay. We have an office dog.
Oh.
Echo. She's not here today because Angela's working a late shift today. She's doing a shoot at the comedy. Are you going to the comedy event tonight? Comedy for a Cause?
I didn't
Challenged
know
Athletes
about
Foundation.
it.
Gosh,
Tell me.
my fault. It's at the Comedy Store for the Challenged Athletes Foundation, and it's doing raffles and all sorts of stuff. Eric Griffin is headlining. It's gonna be super, super fun. So Angel's working that tonight. So Echo's not here.
Fabulous.
Long story.
Okay.
But we have the dog here, and she's an amazing little Shiba Inu.
Oh,
Shiba
those are
Inu.
so cute.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
adorable, like a miniature husky, basically.
So cute.
And is it better when she's here, Carrie? It's better when she's here.
I believe that.
Like totally, it's definitely better when she's here.
Yes.
Even though she will
believe
mostly
that.
relax. But for most people, like a dog, no matter what happens, as soon as you come home, no matter how long it's been, no matter what's happened since you last saw your dog, you got a happy camper on your hands. Like they are
Absolutely.
so excited
Yeah.
to see you when you come home. And that's like pure love.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Unconditional.
So I feel like it would be a good thing, but from a Feng Shui perspective, where do pets come in?
So pets are good energy because they come from the natural world and they are unconditionally loving, even cats. I promise.
Cats unconditionally love?
They are.
Really?
Yes.
So you have
They
cats?
just get dissed on. But I will say that this is my own personal belief. I don't really think that caging animals is good feng shui, like lizards and frogs and things like that, just because I believe they should be in an environment that fosters health and love for themselves, and cages.
I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you on
So most animals, most pets, but not all.
that. Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, cats are a little tougher. I'm definitely I've had cats. I've had dogs. I like the dogs better. Not that there's anything terribly
so
wrong
biased.
with cats. Well, here's the thing. I did have a cat pee on me while I was sleeping.
Dogs
that-
pee on you too.
I've never had a dog pee on me.
Oh my goodness.
Never had a dog pee on me.
Well, now a dog's gonna pee on you because you said that, and I can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Does anyone remember the Dave Chappelle skit that he did? I'm not going to remember
Probably
enough.
saw it.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. He was doing a parody on this song. Okay. Debbie says, my sweet Nicole, you were born Feng Shui.
Oh.
Listen, Sophia, what's up? She said, what's the deal with clients who decide to buy based on what direction the front door faces? Is there any way I can suggest a buyer fix that? Hate to see a buyer miss out on a home that is perfect because the door faces the wrong direction. Do the doors have to face a certain direction?
So that is a little bit of a complicated question because there is a more westernized style of feng shui that's more simplified. That was created for us Americans who can't understand complicated things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they created a more like watered down version. And that's what she's talking about, is when they think like a front door cannot face east or it is terrible home. That's not true. You have to do the natal chart of the home. You have to do the natal chart of the individual who is purchasing the home. And then there's something that you can do. You can paint the door a certain color. I also recently feng shuied a house where the front door was not actually the front door because everyone enters through the side door. So the direction of the home did face west, but all of the chi was entering through the side.
Interesting.
So it's a little tricky, but I would say tell your client that you need an expert to come in and do the natal chart because this bad direction they're talking about could actually be a positive direction for them.
Does it also matter where the direction of the bed or like which direction your body is facing? Explain that one to me.
Also depends on your own personal natal chart, where the headboard should go, but there are some basics. So you never want your bed to face directly towards your door.
Okay.
Because, just common sense, when you go to sleep, that's a little creepy and invasive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you also never want the bed to face a mirror. That's another big no-no.
When you say face a mirror, you mean if you're laying in it,
Yes.
looking down at your feet, a mirror should not be there.
Well, like there's mirrored closets.
Yes.
That are like right in front of the bed. That's not positive energy.
No kidding.
It's creepy. Like when the lights go out and there's a mirror there and you see a shadow. See, it's common sense. There's other reasons for it not being positive, but
Are you easily spooked?
no. At night when there's mirrors, that's kind of creepy, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It certainly can be.
It can
I have
be.
one of those.
Yeah.
Actually, I have two of those.
You have two of what?
I have two sliding glass closet.
Is your bed facing it?
No.
Okay. So an easy fix for that, an easy remedy would be to pull a curtain across at night. And there's really beautiful curtains out there, so it doesn't look too weird usually.
Interesting. But it does matter also which direction like your head is facing.
Yes. So everyone has a best way for the headboard to go. But when you're married to someone and you share a bed, oftentimes that's not the same direction. So you don't want to get twin beds. So there's a top, like a number one place where the headboard can go, but then there's also a number 2 and 3, and then there's some bad areas. And so usually there's a place where you align.
It's so crazy to think some people might not be sleeping well or might be having crazy dreams or something like that, and they could fix it by something so simple as that.
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
That's so
where
crazy.
the headboard is, and I see that all the time. And also mirrors in front of your bed, or having the bed directly in line with the door, or having colors in the room like red walls or something that's not going to invoke good sleep.
So red walls are a no-go.
Red walls are not good. Also water beds. Those are so 80s, right? But if anyone has a water bed.
I was going to say, who has a water bed?
Rid of the water bed for many reasons.
I don't know if anyone has a water bed anymore. I had one in the early 2000s, and it was awesome. But it was like a firm waterbed.
Yeah, but how old were you? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't.
Early 20s.
Yeah. I mean, waterbeds are so fun when you're like being silly.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed to help my back and all sorts of things. And I actually tried to bring it to California, but I couldn't get all the water out. And the day I was moving,
Oh my gosh.
I had to throw it away because
Aw.
I couldn't get all the water out, and it was so heavy.
It was a blessing.
You think so?
You didn't need the waterbed.
Okay.
Yes.
My back suffered for years.
Oh.
No, it's okay. But I do think it is better, ultimately. Some of the things I've read, other things that maybe it could have been getting worse as a result
I believe that.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes you got to be careful about how you're fixing things. I mean,
Yes.
just covering it up.
It's
And
true.
actually treat the source of it, and that was not what was happening with the waterbed. So do you have can you give me one big, like, explosive do or don't on the Feng Shui thing that we can really put an exclamation point on this thing with?
Yes. So the number one Feng Shui tip of all Feng Shui tips, this is the best advice, is declutter your house. Declutter everything. That's the number one thing. That's the first thing that I do. In fact, before we do anything else, we have to declutter the home, which I don't do a decluttering service because that's insane. Yeah, I have them hire an outside service, but I tell them, we can put all of these remedies in place, but if the home is cluttered, it's not going to be as effective.
So cluttered is a little subjective, though, right? Because there are certain hoarder types who do not think the home is cluttered, when in fact the home is very cluttered.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really just a matter of not, so there's minimalism, right? There's people who believe that having too many things, you sort of start to take on a more material existence in your being if you have too many things.
Yes.
And I actually kind of agree with this.
Yeah.
It's a little far out, but a couple different times in my life I have really purged my stuff. And if you went and saw how many things I own right now, you'd be like, what, that's it? Like, that's all your stuff?
That's great.
I have so few things. That's why I wear all the same stuff all the time. I mean, I have like 2 different pair of jeans. I have the same shoes. I mean, I have so few things. But I'll be honest with you, it's because I'm sort of addicted to throwing stuff away. Because it feels so good.
Well,
or giving it away.
As
I
long
don't
as
throw
you're
it
not
away.
wasteful, yeah.
Yeah, no, got the car, in the back of the car right now, I have 2 full trash bags of stuff.
Right now.
Right now.
Wow.
That are going to be taken to, we take them to a specific healthcare facility that
That's
has
so
a lot
nice.
of homeless
Good for
patients and stuff like
you.
that. But I really enjoy getting rid of stuff.
Well, that's because it feels good.
And then that's
Yes.
chi
It
somehow.
is.
There's something in there.
Yes, exactly.
The
So
decluttering, that's
Yeah.
Feng Shui essentially.
when you let go of items, you're letting go of the past, and you're also creating space for something new to come into your life. So people who want, better clothes and more abundance, if they're hoarding everything, then none of that chi can enter into their lives.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've felt that. It is real. It is like a drug almost.
It is real. You get endorphins from it.
Seriously.
Yes.
It feels amazing.
And to motivate people, in Feng Shui they say that if you have a cluttered closet, you will keep weight on your body.
Really?
Seriously.
Huh. That's interesting.
So letting go of clothes, even clothes that you hope you'll fit into someday, you have to let go of them because then you will lose weight. It's like a paradox.
It is. Huh?
Yeah.
This is so wild. That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah.
The decluttering, that's the number one Feng Shui tip, you just heard it, is to declutter, let go of things. A lot of people have a hard time with that. Tell you where I'm from, what people have is they have basements. And
That's
basements.
like where I'm from too.
Yeah, where are you from?
Utah.
Utah. Okay, so people have basements.
Yeah.
And this is the place where all their stuff goes that they don't want anymore.
Exactly.
It goes in the basement.
Bury it.
Yeah, it's just buried in the basement where it slowly loses value of any kind, tangible or material.
Right.
Because things get old and fray away, they just become useless. So I think it's sort of our duty as the shepherds of these material items to at least make sure they have a life that gets used and that they are able to participate, I guess,
No,
in
it's
existence. Instead of locking them in a cell, you put it in a tub.
Putting it in prison.
You're putting it in prison.
Yes.
In your basement.
It's sad.
That's not good for anyone.
No.
Those aren't happy shirts. Those aren't happy shoes. Happy shoes want to be worn. They don't care who wears them.
I love this. Could be my Feng Shui spokesperson. It's so good.
That's true. That's how I look at it. So that's, you know, and I've tried to convince other people the same thing. But people have strong attachments to stuff.
They do, and it's a whole psychological process. So decluttering is the most important thing to do, but it's also the hardest.
Most challenging for most people.
Is.
Wow, this has been super enlightening. I feel educated and things make sense. We connected dots here.
Yes, we did.
This is pretty
I
epic.
know, we could talk forever.
So what do you do for people who are like curious about this, or like what part do you help people with, or do you help people feng shui their home? I know you're in real estate. You help people buy and sell homes. You help people who are selling homes feng shui their homes. You help people who are buying homes find feng shui homes. Do you have other resources maybe, or how do you help people who just want to feng shui their home that they already own or something like that?
Well, I also feng shui homes that
You do?
are not real estate clients. They're just people who want to feng shui the home. And like I said, the energy of a home changes every year. So I'll have clients that I revisit
Once a year.
and feng shui their home once a year. And then I also offer something called space clearing, which is actually very popular. And it's not decluttering. It sounds like it is. But space clearing is a purely intentional, energetic practice. And it's coming into the home and clearing out old energy with, it's actually ancient Chinese practice to use chimes to kind of break up the energy in the home. So we'll open all the windows, we'll make sure, usually it's just one person present, but I'll do chimes, I'll burn sage, Palo Santo, I get all woo-woo. We do intentions for the home.
Cleanse it,
and do blessings. So that's also a really popular thing I get hired to do.
that is something that is like a no-brainer in my opinion, especially if you're buying a new house. You have no idea what's taking place in there.
Exactly.
So
I know.
should start fresh.
Yes.
I do know that was something, interestingly enough, not to sidebar in politics, but I do know that the current president had that done in the White House.
He did?
Before they came in, yes.
I'm so surprised. Well, I think it needs to be done again.
Yeah?
And again, and again. I can't imagine what they're going to do after this.
All right, that's enough.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate your comments. Share this video. If you want to make your friends smarter than everyone else, share this video. Let's get feng shui together. Everybody feng shui tonight?
Yes.
Can we get that happening? Thank you so much,
Thank
Nikki, for
you.
coming. I really appreciate your time. I know it's a
Thank
long
you.
drive for you. This is really awesome for me.
It was a
Connected so
pleasure.
many dots, and I think this is something that's really helpful for people to consider because this isn't on people's radar, and it obviously should be.
It should.
Thanks for watching, folks.
Thank you.